In Vikings Valhalla, Episode 4, Jomsborg sets their dead on fire at the start of Season 3. Magnus' spies estimate that over half of their population has vanished. Magnus, ecstatic, raises his arms and decides to launch an assault. Harold avoids general maniacs at Constantinople when he tries to start a battle. Zoe interrupts him once more as he tries to enlist additional Varangians. As soon as they enter the hallway, she approaches Harold, asking him to accompany her. She says he's the second most powerful man in the Empire, but Harold is cautious. As soon as Romanos walks into the building, they connect. Harold and Zoe are alerted to the Emperor's coming by Kynas's loud announcement. Harold is anxious as Romanos reveals that he is searching for Zoe, but she is ecstatic by the possibility of nearly being discovered. After Romanos departs, Kynas alerts Harold, telling him not to stoop too low. When Leif gets to Corfu, he witnesses several invaders assaulting a nun. She prevents him from killing one of the young invaders even though he assists her. Leif is surprised as she tends to her own injuries and consumes ale. Identifying herself as Tamar, she assigns Leif the task of constructing a chapel. Though amused, he lends a hand. Returning to Jomsborg, Magnus strolls into the village, gloating that it is empty. His people track down Fridas, posing as a sick villager. When he inquires about his father, she offers to lead them to the Valley of the Dead, where his final resting place is located. Only a few men remain to watch the boats as everyone else lumbers through the jungle. Since the villagers are sheltering amid the funeral pyres, it is obviously a trap. They overthrow the sentinels and get into the boats. When Magnus and his men arrive at the grave, they find a Latin tombstone that refers to Olaf and him as silly along with a strung-up skeleton. As Fridas flees, he realizes it too late. While his men attempt to pursue the people, he stays behind. However, a second trap keeps the guys from getting to the boats. Magnus becomes sidetracked, allowing Fridas to flee and join the people. The people choose to move while an irritated Magnus and his troops are left trapped in Jomsborg. Leif and Tamar engage in a quid pro quo whereby they divulge their own narratives. After breaking free from a storm that had trapped him and his father, Leif noticed trees on an otherwise uncharted horizon. But before he could show his father, it vanished. He would make an effort to preserve the memory, but he is now unsure if it was all in his head. He's hoping to track down the Corfu mapmaker who can guide him to that place. Regarding Tamar, her spouse was a mason. However, she fled with her young kid when their community was raided. She killed him in an attempt to stop the infant from sobbing. She was forced to leave since she could not be forgiven by her spouse or her village. Leif questions whether her God has pardoned her, but she affirms that God has assisted her in forgiving herself. The young raider takes off with Leif's horse at that same moment. Forkbeard returns to Denmark as the country's midsummer celebrations pick back up. At last, Godwin is able to deliver the news: the winds will not attack them again because they are also Christians, thanks to the Pope's support. Forkbeard chastises Harefoot for his inability to predict the wind's onslaught, and the conversation shifts to his ambition. Forkbeard counsels him to be tough and smart if he wants to be king. As he and Edward agree to a truce, Canute keeps making Forkbeard proud. Edward may have a chance, he says, adding that anyone can take the throne but that a king is made. He adds that he shouldn't punish Emma because she sent him away to ensure his safety. Edward is initially perplexed before realizing that there may be some validity